The Autodromo Termas de Rio Hondo was the venue for round 2 of the 2017 MotoGP World Championship, and thanks to ever-changing conditions throughout the weekend, was one full of several incidents. We saw a grand total of 30 crashes as Turn 2 claimed the most victims with 8 fallers, and there were 6 crashes in Moto 3 and an equal of 12 in Moto 2 and MotoGP. First up, we looked at Turn 1 at the start of the MotoGP race as Jorge Lorenzo clips the rear wheel of Andrea Iannone Suzuki, sending him into the oncoming path of Loris Baz. Fortunately, Baz was just able to avoid the Spaniard and, despite it heavily compromising his race, was able to continue. The same couldn't be said for Lorenzo, however, as he retired on the spot and was out of his second Grand Prix with Ducati. Once again, we're at Turn 1. This time it's Moto 2 as we go on board with Takaki Nakagami. We can see the Japanese rider clipping the rear wheel of Axel Pons's Kalex and going down the road, sending him straight into the path of the luckless Remy Gardner, who suffers a nasty high side and a broken ankle as a result. Moving forwards to Turn 2, and this time with the leader, Marc Marquez. The Spaniard had a comfortable gap but lost the front whilst trail braking, sending the reigning world champion into the gravel trap and out of the race. We go on board and see that there was little Marquez could do to stop the crash, and was understandably very frustrated after throwing away a maximum of 25 points. It wasn't the first time that weekend that the Repsol Honda rider had fallen victim. In the same corner on Friday, he suffered a near identical crash, but this time spectacularly barrel rolled before coming to a stop. Worse was to come, however, in the race as his teammate Dani Pedrosa also fell at the same corner whilst battling with Johan Zarco for 4th place just a few laps later. No points on the board for the factory team, and maximum for title rivals Yamaha made it a very bitter pill to swallow. Next up, we look to Turn 5, and Andrea Dovizioso runs wide whilst trying to overtake Danilo Petrucci. Aleix Espargaro tries to take advantage but loses the front end of his Aprilia and taking them both out of the running. On board with Petrucci, and you can see just how little of a warning sign the Spaniard got before it all went wrong, and they both hit the deck. Both riders were fortunately unharmed, and Espargaro was quick to offer his apologies for the error, but both were very disappointed. The ever-exciting Moto 3 race had plenty of battles up and down the field. Here we see Nicolo Bulega and Fabio De Gianantonio coming together towards the closing stages. The Del Conca Gresini rider goes down, with Bulega later penalised. We head back to Moto 2 and on the opening lap at Turn 7 as Mattia Pessini parts ways with Italtrans Kalex. The Italian loses the front and low sides, but was later able to rejoin the race and finish in 20th. Same corner, same race, but this time on the last lap, as Alex Marquez spectacularly high-sides from his Estrella Galicia Mark BDS Kalex whilst battling for the lead. He immediately ran back to the bike, could rejoin, and would eventually take 21st. Finally, we look at Turn 13 and the second practice session of the weekend as Dani Pedrosa loses the front end at the penultimate corner. He escaped unharmed, but his bike lay stricken in the middle of the track, causing a yellow flag. And that was a look at some of the crashes from Argentina. Tune in next time as we head to Texas.